thank you all so much for joining us today. We're having a really good series of INCON learning, and Olena Lima is based in Australia, and she's Ukrainian, if I remember right, Olena?
Yep. I am.
Yeah, and she runs a consultancy firm, marketing consultancy firm, focused on associations. So I came across her as part of my work with ESAE last year. So I will hand over to you, Olena, and thank you for being with us today.
So good morning, everyone, and good afternoon to Sean. My name is Olena, and I am a founder and a consultant at MemberBoat. MemberBoat is a marketing agency, and we work exclusively with professional associations in Australia and all over the world. And we're helping with marketing technology, and marketing automation. And obviously, because events is such a big part of association world, we work a lot with events and helping associations to promote events and also to automate. So first and foremost, what I would like to mention, I really hate talk at you events. So all of my events, I'm not sure that I know everyone in this group, but my events very interactive. So at any stage, if you would like to jump in, interrupt, ask the questions, say, no, this is not how it works in Europe, Olena, please do so, because I want you to also learn from each other, not only from me, because I'm sure that all of us as a group have huge experience. And obviously, we can run events small and large, and webinars, and huge trade shows and conferences. So there is no solution that fits all. So I will try to kind of give you big overview of the ideas of in general how you can automate and market your events. But obviously, this it's very hard with different events. It will be different tools. Also, I wanted to mention I'm more focusing on marketing of the events. So it's relationship with your customers, personalization, marketing automation, marketing and all those type of things, rather than event type of things in terms of a technical setup and on event registrations and booth and all this type of things. So we will be talking more about marketing automation before, during, and after the event. So before we start, just wanted for everyone to be on the same page what marketing automation is, because usually we have this perception that when we say marketing automation, we usually think it's just all those automated emails. It's boring. It's non-personalized. But in reality, what marketing automation is, it's all software and all the digital tools that assist us with customer data management. It assists us to collect information on our customers, because we have lots of information about their name, about their location, about their companies that they work, industries, and all these type of things. But marketing automation helps us determine their behavior, their interests, and then offer real-time targeted communication to them. So depending on their behavior, depending on their interest in what they click before, you follow up with them with marketing campaigns. And look, I'm not going to stay for a long time on the benefits of automation. Obviously, it's saving our time because events are so time consuming. But the most important thing, it gives us insights and data on our customer behavior. So apart from just thinking, this is just automation email, the best benefit of marketing automation, it's actually gathering data and letting us know whether our customers are active with us or not. So the elements of the marketing automation is just huge, and depending on what settings you work and how hard your CRM is, the CRM is the hub of your marketing automation. You collect information from all the data points from your social media, from your website, from your emails, from your dynamic content on your website, from your landing pages, reporting. You put all this information into your CRM database to see how you interact with your members. So we will be talking about all this, and you can see that there are some elements of membership renewals and membership onboarding, because I work with associations and membership, so it's relevant to them, but would be relevant to all of you. first and foremost, I would like to talk about how to automate and what to automate. That doesn't necessarily need automation. Takes time to set up, and automation takes money to set up. So you don't have to automate absolutely everything and anything. And if the matter of the fact is, before any great initiative, I see often now, because there are so many marketing solutions and software solutions on the market, people get a bit overwhelmed, and people get this FOMO, oh my God, we need to do everything. And it's not necessarily the truth, because it can actually slow down your great idea and slow down your business processes. So the best way to understand what you need to automate is to actually understand your roadblocks and to understand what takes lots of your time. And as a rule of thumb, if it takes more than 15 minutes of your time a day, or more than 1 hour a week, or if it takes more than 1 hour for you to teach someone to do some tasks, this is the time to automate. So if it's the task takes less than 15 minutes a day, maybe you need to wait, and it's not the time to invest your time and money into the process of automation. But if it takes more than 15 minutes a day, then yes, it will be cheaper and more reasonable to automate these tasks. And some tasks are more obvious than others, but different tools like Toggle and Clockify, very great tools for you to ask your team to track. And some team members say, this takes so much time. Let's track and let's see what exactly takes the time, and let's analyze. And I always compare this with calorie tracking. When you're trying to get healthy and lose weight, you start to track calories, and there are lots of times that you actually raise your brow and say, oh my goodness, this is so good, it's so full of calories. Same with this exercise. No matter what client I would come to, if they do this exercise, there would be some brow raising of, oh my God, why does this take? Or we actually thought that this is time consuming, but it's particularly not. So it's very, useful exercise. Also, before I go ahead, I do share a lot of software providers, but I would like you to know I'm not affiliated with any of the software providers. This is our philosophy, and this is how we work. We purposely don't affiliate. So when we come to our client, we actually genuinely, recommend them software that they need. But we obviously have experience with quite a bit. And that's the slides that I actually wanted to show you, and that I just included right now, is the amount of marketing automation. When you ask me what is the best tool, I will tell you, I will never respond to this. I can share with you the experience of the tools personally I'm using, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this tool is better than the others. And sometimes I will go to the client and I will recommend them another tool for their organization because it will be more suitable. And I just wanted to show you the amount of us as a technology consultants, what kind of world we're living in. Because in August 2011, it was the landscape of MarTech technologies. They're not all event related, but it's more software like CRM and email marketing and all this type of things. So, and in 2020, we had 9,092 different software pieces. So obviously, and this is May 2022. So it's growing exponentially, and obviously there is absolutely no way for us to try them all. And the landscape of software providers in Europe, in the US, and here in Australia will be obviously very different. So I will share with you my favorite tools. Again, I do not have any affiliation with them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they will be available in Europe. So the first tool is to automate your business process, and it's not related to marketing completely, but it's the project management tool. The project management, while it sounds is just a project management, but it has huge amount of automation at the moment. For example, in Asana, you can create a form that you can integrate in your website. People fill in, and the request comes in to your Asana and assign the task to your team member with the time when it's due, so you can easily track this type of things. Asana integrates with most of them. Monday and Asana integrate with software tools like MailChimp, for example, and some event management software. So it's a really great tool how you can manage your process and, just explore how you can automate your process. But especially, at the moment when a lot of us working in the virtual teams, it's absolutely, I will be honest with you, I've been using these digital project management tools for, I don't know, like maybe 15 years now. I don't know how people survive without them. So definitely something to explore if you haven't done so, which I doubt. The next really important tool that, and when I was putting this presentation together, I was thinking about the process of creating the event. So from the beginning, when you just market the event, and close to the event, when you start collecting registration, when you're running the event, and the post-event surveys. So if we begin our marketing, obviously the lead generation. Your lead generation campaign starts at the moment when you close your doors. So basically, the second the expo or the second the conference finished, you put the wait list or express your interest for the next year landing page on your website straight away. And how you put, how you deal with the people with this landing page, it's absolutely up to you. But obviously, setting up clever marketing automation campaign that will lead them to the next year show, it's very essential. What I always encourage my clients who are mostly association not to do. So what happens often, if people come in, they join the wait list for the conference. But then association, my clients start spamming them with all the communication that they have, that start sending them other events, so the news of association, all this type of things. What it does, people unsubscribe because they particularly wanted to be in the wait list for this particular event. And if you start spamming them with not relevant communication, you will just lose them. So be very careful when you create any type of lead generation form. Try not to add these new people to your general newsletter list. Just create the automation and say, hey, thank you so much for your interest in the show. If you would like us to send us other relevant information, please, you can subscribe to our other list here. But in the meantime, wait until next year, and then you reach out to them only next year. Don't, not sending all the information that they didn't subscribe to. Obviously, you can use as lead generation form the program download. So you can put the preview of the program on the website, but if they want more detailed information, they need to put their details in, which will create the lead for you to follow up in the future. And also another great tool for creating lead generation is turning the webinars or some, for example, if you're running a big live event and big expo or a conference session, you can record it and turn it into the evergreen content to, catch these leads during the year. Is there anyone have any questions on this? Any comments? Does anyone do lead generation forms like this and want to share their experiences?
We use sort of something similar for our expressions of interest for our sponsorship and exhibition. And yeah, I found it really useful. And just your comment about not spamming your people who have signed up for your list, I think is spot on. And we've had obviously different marketing approaches throughout the years, whatnot, and that's one thing we found is really it's very much a less is more sort of activity where if people are getting only what they asked for, you're more likely to keep them engaged. And also you can spend time crafting something specific for that particular list that's going to be more relevant, and you'll get generally, from what we found, a better uptake. So yeah, I agree.
Yep, but again, if you like turning your, either webinars, so part of the events, into this evergreen content that you can use on your social during the year, just to start getting these people interested in this topic. So let's say you are running the agricultural conference, and there was really great keynote speaker, obviously asking the permission from this keynote speaker. You record this session, and then you put this session on your website to start collecting people who are interested in this topic for your next year marketing list. So the next, obviously, when we're talking about lead generation and lead nurturing, when you think about the lead generation, lead nurturing campaign, it's not only your email. It's all the landing pages. It's the right messaging on your confirmation page, on your confirmation email. Thank you. So you communicating really, really correctly what they sort of sign up to, and what this show is about. And like, obviously, one of the way to automating marketing is to maximize the email marketing to its full potential. Stop blasting these emails about everything. This is the conference, this is the conference, this is the conference, to different people. So let's, as an example, there would be a conference which cost 2,000-3,000 euros. But there will be a stream to the students that would be much cheaper for them to, or people who start in their career, that would be much cheaper. Try to identify these students in your audience and obviously send them very different list. So, and this is what I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, identifying these segments and creating dynamic content, starting from the A/B testing and ending with different messages to different audience. So, for example, you're promoting a conference for marketing professionals. When you're sending the email to your student audience, it would, or like the audience who just starting their career, it would be build your network, come into our conference to meet new people. When you're targeting HR managers, the messaging would be obviously, build up the capability of your team. They don't need to come to the conference, right? So the different messaging to different audiences is very important, which is made really easily with marketing automation. Audience segmentation based on their activities in previous clicks. And look, obviously, I'm sure that you're all, all the booking confirmations, reminders, and post-event surveys. This can be all automated far before the beginning of the conference. It doesn't have to be, the reminder shouldn't be sent in 3 days. And I see, unfortunately, it's 2022, but unfortunately, I still see this a lot. When we send, it takes time. It takes like 3-5 days to compile this post-event reminder, which needs to be sent basically straight after they close the door, because your survey, your post-event survey, will have very much better open rate and completion rate if you send it straight away rather than even next day. Obviously, identifying hot leads, and I think that a lot of you doing this, seeing who is clicking at the event, seeing who is opening a lot of events, emails may help you with that. You need to be very careful at the moment with the Apple, how they're protecting their data. So if you see that a person opened 55 times your email, and if they use an Apple, it doesn't mean that they open 55 times. It just means that it's how the Apple Analytics works. Look, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but obviously social media automation is a huge part in how you schedule. And I have some of my very organized clients, not many of them unfortunately, but they just create all their content for their conference, half a year before the conference, and then we just schedule and it just goes. So you spend 3-5 working days to creating all the content, and it just works by itself. One of my favorite tool is Ad Event. So if you run regular events, if it's not like an annual conference, but if it's, for example, let's say like INCON events, it's like monthly learnings, you can subscribe to the calendar. And so basically all the events will automatically be added to your participants' calendar. It's cheap, it's easy to use, and from my experience, it's very, very engaging. So people do subscribe to your emails, especially if it's type of membership, when they go to be involved, or they pay, it's a high price ticket, some kind of program. They want this reminder about your events. Integration, no matter what software you're using, obviously look how it integrates with your current CRM system and with your current event administration system. If it doesn't integrate, maybe look in another option. This is the first thing that you need to look at. sending timely, engaging confirmations that we've already talked about, all the event logistics, name tags, promo materials for speakers and sponsors, and we will talk about this a little bit later, how it's possible to do. Chat box, using chat box bots for reducing the response time. Again, I'm not going to recommend you one particular provider, but and I know that not all of us love chat bots, but at the same time, especially with the events, the questions like when registration closes, how much are the tickets, you know, there are plenty of questions that are asked often. You know, the chatbots can be really, really great option to manage in this kind of tiny answers, but then make your assistant very, very accessible for. So if person gets frustrated, you know, it just goes straight to your team. Is anyone using chatbots in their events on their events websites at the moment? All right. Another software that I personally love for meeting management and you know, meeting booking is currently in Doodle. It's not more related for the event itself, but it's like pre-event meeting when you need to, for example, you know, organize the meetings with your client, with your team, and they usually have, you know, they have marketing agency and they have their own events team, and then you on the side. I found Doodle really, really useful. You just send the link and people pick and choose what time they're available. Outlook at the moment has the built-in functionality like this too, which you can use, but it's, I think, a bit more expensive than Doodle. And Calendly, obviously, you know, booking the meeting appointment. So, for example, if you are dealing with a lot of speakers and a lot of sponsors, apart from going back and forth and saying, you know, what time are you available? And I'm available this time. And, you know, it can actually really reduce the time, how you manage your time. And it gives the person the opportunity to book the time that's convenient for them. Data collection. Look, events are all different, and most of you would probably use some kind of event registration forms that are on your website. But the events can be different, and, you know, for example, there might be some event that during one conference you're going to run an awards program, or you're going to run some kind of session where you need to collect some kind of PDF forms or some kind of additional information. I absolutely love JotForm for this. First, if you, for example, go to another job and the company will just starting the events and they don't have the events functionality on their website still, they just stop running the events, which is not right. So the JotForm is absolutely a great tool for this. It can actually process the payments. So you can run the whole event registration process through JotForm. You can embed the form on your website, so it actually looks like the form of your website. And what it does, so for example, I run for one of my clients, I run the awards program based on the JotForm. So they fill in all the information. They and another way how you can use it is the speaker express of interest form, or you can also manage the sponsor when they send all their logos and stuff. Usually it's very messy. So what JotForm does, when you integrate it with the Dropbox, it creates the folder for every single sponsor, and it puts all the attached materials into these particular folders. You know, and the name of the folder would be the sponsor name, or if it's the awards process, it would be particularly the awards. So it's really great, and you can again integrate it with everything and anything. So it's very, very useful. Obviously, all type of surveys, you can automate this straight away and send, you know, with MailChimp, depending on what tool you're using. But the surveys can be used as a pre-event survey to collect information, what people want to see, what speakers they would like to see, post-event surveys, and live feedback during the event, when you just either scan the barcode, or you actually using the booth for collecting the events. I find if you collect the events during the event, you would have like 60-70% more completion rate than if you ask after the event. So if it's even next day, no one is responding. At least this is the experience in Australia. Maybe Europeans a little bit more responsible, but here people don't do this. And there are, again, all sort of different types and tools that you can use for post-event survey. And some of the software, event software, has been integrated, as part of their software. Collecting testimonials after, it's a very great and engaging tool, both Boston and also you identify happy customers, and then you just send the invite to them, and they provide you either video testimonial or testimonial that got posted directly to Google or social media. Really great and engaging tool for you to collect data. And then amplify collaboration. And it's not, unfortunately, and please share with me your European experience, but it's not, unfortunately, something that I see a lot in Australia, how people and how sponsors and attendees and exhibitors communicate before the trade show. So, I moved to Australia 13 years ago, but even 13 years ago, when I was attending conferences in Europe, you could pre-book the session time and conversation time with the sponsors and exhibitors before the event. And this is not something that we, unfortunately, use in Australia. Can you share your experience? Like, do you see it often now that you can, pre-book this conversations time before the trade show, or it's not used to?
Does anybody have anything to share on that point? You can put it in chat if it's easier. I'm sure some of you are doing this before events, no?
Anyway, so it's not something that it's done in Australia for some reason. I don't know, but I think it's such a great tool to engage in with participants even before they Sean just confirmed that Aussies don't do this. Even before, so when I went to the trade show in America, I already had my full list of meetings with different exhibitors. So I was able to browse this experience before and to create my schedule of my meetings during the day. It's like when you come to the big trade show, you just get overwhelmed. There is so much, you don't have time to actually process this all. Everyone throwing flyers into you, and plus sometimes you want to go to a provider, but they've got the line for like 10 people and you don't have time to wait, so you miss an opportunity. So this type of software really helps provide better experience for your attendees and so your sponsors. Another great tool is encouraging participation to spread the word. So the best way to promote and without paid advertising to go beyond your network is to actually asking your speakers and your sponsors to promote themselves. Speaking, it's their marketing opportunity. Obviously, if they're exhibiting, it's their marketing opportunity. So creating the pre-designed templates, it's really great tool. So, and I will show you what we've done for the ISSA Expo show. So we were sending the link to our exhibitors. Exhibitors would choose their logo and they put the stand number, and it automatically generates the banners for them. So we created the templates for the banners, and it just put their logo and it just put their stand here. And then at the bottom of the page, we also created the templates of the social media posts that they were just copy pasting and, obviously adding some their materials and tweaks. But if you provide your speakers and your exhibitors with the tool and actually asking, can you please spread the word, it really amplifies your event and it really goes beyond your network very quickly. And the interesting and funny thing is that sometimes we just forget, and I will give you experience from my own life. I'm very much engaged with one of the association community. We're very good personal friends. We work a lot. We're on the phone almost every week. So, and they were running the event, and 5 days before the event, she called me and say, hey, Olena, can I please ask you to promote this through your network, our event, because I have 5 days before the event, and we still have a few tickets available. And I was like, why didn't I do that? I'm in such a close relationship, but before she asked, I didn't even think about, not because I didn't want to, but it just didn't cross my mind. So asking participants, actually dedicating one of the email or one of the social media posts, asking them, can we please ask you to share the materials with you? This is the template that you can use. Reaching out to the manager of the organizations, asking to promote to their employees, to spread the word. It's a very great tool. Don't forget to ask people to do this, because usually it's something that we miss out. And one of the part of this chat, and it's ChatGPT. And can you please share with me how ChatGPT is popular in Europe? How often do you use it? And did you find a nice way to actually use it in your everyday work? Anyone? Because I don't want to repeat, if you're already all over it, I don't want to repeat the ideas that you're already using. You can see they haven't used it yet. All right. So as it's written on my screen, is that the ChatGPT is not going to take a job, but the person who uses it may. And especially for the event management, it's a very powerful tool that can save you at least 1 week of time in a week. So we have one more message. It's not popular yet. So the base, and I actually included some of the examples how you can use ChatGPT. There is free version that you can purely use. You can also subscribe to the paid version for $20, which will provide you a little bit more comprehensive language, a little bit, it just works faster. So one of the obvious use of ChatGPT is just asking to generate the topics of the events. What's hot in marketing at the moment? I would like to run an event on marketing automation. What topics can I cover? Generate list of topic experts. Who are the best experts in Italy to talk about automation in agricultural business? And it provides you the list of people. I really, really encourage you, do not trust ChatGPT 100%, because it's also trained until 2021. So it works on the data available until 2021. So there might be new experts and stuff. So everything that ChatGPT gives to you, it's only a template for you to work on. Obviously, never ever copy paste what ChatGPT provides to you and just include it into your marketing materials, because there are a lot of questions about the regulations in terms of plagiarism and privacy and all this type of things. But it will definitely stop you from this blank page fear. Generate short and catchy content ideas for your social media and landing pages based on your existing content. So basically what you can do, if you have the program, copy paste the program, throw it into ChatGPT and ask, can you please write the overview of the event? It will do it in 2 seconds. Generate headlines, subject lines, and the session name. So for example, you have, this is the session overview. I need a catchy session name. It will, or give me 7 ideas of the session names, and it will provide you the 7 ideas of the session names. Another great way that I'm using all the time is refreshing, repeating event description. If you're running an event year after year and you just have the same description every year and you just start with it and you need just a fresh eye to refresh it, you just put the description of the last year event and say, can you please rewrite for this same description for this year? You can draft all marketing automation emails. You just say, I'm running an event here and there. Please write all event-related marketing automation emails, and it will do this for you. You can tailor your content for different member personas. So remember we were talking about the emails that were targeted to different audiences. So you write, your description of the event and say, we need to send this event invitation to a younger audience? Can you please make it a little bit fresh and chatty and not so serious? It will change the tone of your conversation. Create better SEO content. If you're running one event in the area that you don't know, for example, you're running an event for the trade association, what are the keywords for this association? So you design your content using these keywords, and then you ask, can you please, here's the description of the event, please write the SEO optimized content using the above keywords to write this. Drafting all terms and conditions, clauses, instructions, and explanations. And I will give you one of the examples. Again, with terms and conditions, this is just a template. This is not your legal document. So you need to go to the solicitor or lawyer and check. But it will give you a very good draft of the clauses that you need on your website. And then you can fully design your post-event surveys. By running events on this, what questions can I ask after the survey? And I will give you a few examples of, how I personally use it. And this is one of the examples. So basically, assume there is a conference happening, Future Agriculture Tech Conference in London. The conference will include sessions on latest startups working in agriculture tech. Create a table of the agenda of this event during following columns. You just put it in, it just creates you the draft of the event, of the event sessions. I ran the segmentation and personalization workshop last week for my membership marketing school. Can you create a workshop outline? And I will show you also how you can dig deeper with with ChatGPT to ask the questions to make it sharper, because obviously you need to teach your own ChatGPT and you can educate them. So I created I asked to create the workshop outline and agenda, and it's created. So a workshop outline, introduction, types of segmentation, benefits, steps, techniques, and best practices and then it created for every single session, it created the outline of what I need to do. Then I started to dig deeper. Can you expand on tools and technologies? Because I didn't know what he means in tools and technologies. What do you mean with tools and technologies? And it says, certainly, there are many tools and technologies for the personalization, software, marketing automation process, personalization engines, blah, blah, blah. And if I wanted to dig deeper, and if I wanted to ask what are the best brands for the CRM, it would give me two. But I asked it, I need more examples on group activities. So I've stuck a bit and I was running the interactive workshop. I need more examples on group activities for the personalization workshop. And it gave me the examples of, you can do persona creation as a group exercise, you can do strategy brainstorming, you can do messaging exercise. Then I liked one of the options and I said, for the number 3, can you provide me with an example? And he wrote me complete example of the activity that I can run. So I just, this is your segments, this is your message, and this is what people need to do. Another example that in terms of creating blurbs and, TNCs and all this type of things. So I asked, write a blurb that all session must be of educational character, not self or product promotion. So this was the clause for, we were running the call for speakers, and we wanted to write that while you're speaking in our conference, you're sharing your experience. We don't want you to sell your products. So, instead of writing this and drafting this and thinking how to write this, I just asked it and it just created me the draft of what I put on the website. Obviously, you always need to check but this is what it wrote. We would like to remind all potential speakers that our expo is committed to providing an educational experience that benefits all attendees. As such, we require that all sessions be of educational character and not focus on self-promotion and product promotion. So that's kind of the examples, and you can clearly see how much time it can save to you. If you have the conference program, just copy paste the whole program, paste it in your request and say, can you please write marketing description? Can you write marketing description for students, for HR managers, and for professionals? Can you create 10 social media posts for me to schedule in my social media. It just does this in seconds, and your job is just to proofread and schedule and create the banners. So that's my last slide, and this is the slide on when automation is not working. It's a great tool, and it's time saving and convenient, but it doesn't work when your task includes a lot of real-time collaboration. And don't try to replace all team meetings with project management tool, for example. It's really important for us to talk to each other and still generate our own ideas, not only ChatGPT ideas. Then before you implement any single automation tool, check if your team is on board with you, because I've seen in my practice a lot of examples when a manager decides we need to use this tool. He invests money, he invests time to actually implement this, but then there is no rule and processes of how we're using this. So write SOPs, it's standard operational procedures of how you're using software. If you move into the new software, you just stop and not allowing using any previous software for it to work, because it always needs to be a point of truth. And obviously, very highly complex processes also you cannot automate. And that's the end of my presentation. Please ask me any questions. Please share any experiences that you have, but it was helpful, or but there is still some areas that are not clear to you.
Thank you so much, Olena. That was really interesting. There were so many different tools there that I'd never heard of before. So I'm looking forward to exploring it. And even on the ChatGPT, I think every time I listen to somebody speak about it, I learn some new things. I hadn't experimented with social media marketing and asking them to create posts for me, but that sounds like fun.
I think Angela got.
So does anybody have anything they'd like to raise?
Sean is asking, what's the most impactful way to start with automation? Look, in my experience, you just have to have everyone on board. And it's really, really important that decision about using the automation is not made by one person in organization. And especially not, look, if you are an event company and you just decide to do it internally and you just come to the client and say, look, this is the tool that we're using, they just don't have the option and they're using it. But with your internal team, it's really important to be careful and to explain the benefits of it. So, and to explain, this is because we're all at very different levels. Some people are very tech savvy and they're very curious and they actually want to dive in and dig in and explore and experiment. And some people are just, we don't have time for this. This is just not going to work. So it's very, very important to have all the team on board before you even start. Then obviously exploring, as I showed you, there are more than 10-15,000 software providers at the moment in the market. Explore your options on what software to use. The first question you need to ask yourself, does this integrate with everything that we do now? Would it be possible to integrate it with the current systems? This is the most important question that you would like to ask. And then from there, you can go and ask about their support, their implementation process, their price and anything like this. But if any automation tool is just going to be in silos from all the systems that you're using, it will just add you more work because you will have to transfer data between it. Daniela is asking, is there any time when there's too much automation? How many different tools you recommend per person company? Look, it's such a difficult question because it very much depends on the scale of the company, right? And for example, if you're using tools like Microsoft Dynamics or Salesforce, you may say that you're using only one tool, but it includes thousands of different, touch points and software within itself. So, it's in how much. Also, if you're using one of the powerful tools, stop from going to the market and looking what else is available. Make sure that you are utilizing your tool that you're paying a lot of money for completely and fully 100%. So that would be, my hint. And obviously, as much as I'm automation professional, always put personal touch, both with your attendees, with your team members, with your sponsors, obviously, but always make sure that there is this personal touch when people can actually go and chat to you. So never automate everything 100%. Please, follow me on LinkedIn, follow MemberBoat on LinkedIn. We are sharing all the time, all the different tips on how to use. We're running plenty of free events. It would be a little bit in an awkward time zone for you. But for example, I'm going to run quite a series of events on how to use different tech, starting from MailChimp, Canva, and how to take the most of it, so, and again, I work in more from the association point of view, but, if you find something interesting, it's something always, I'm one of these people who absolutely love technology and love to test and love to share what I've learned. So, and I share quite a lot on social media. So follow MemberBoat, follow me personally, and it would be great to stay in touch.
Thanks so much, Olena. And I do follow you. And you wrote a very interesting article recently on ChatGPT for associations. And I forwarded it to lots of different people. So I would recommend Olena's material to everybody. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And I'm sure it's going to change people's mindset, and they might start thinking of using some of these tools and doing things slightly differently. And we will stay in touch with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I hope it was helpful for you.